here with Youssef Khoumari in a box fit in Romford. Is it Romford or is it Brentford?
Romford, Brentwood. Wherever it is, it's the best boxing shop there is.
Exactly, there we go. And we're here obviously to discuss Youssef Khoumari's career, his fights, upcoming fights, previous fights, the Casteneda fight. Obviously, you were Casteneda's fighting tonight on the Zone, so I want to get your thoughts on that. And I caught up on that fight actually this morning just before I came out. Those highlights they make you look very good. It doesn't make you look like you've lost the fight at all.
I look like the man in those highlights.
Yeah, mate, 100%. So, but we'll get onto that. So, obviously, like I've seen a few of your fights, and also thank you for doing this interview with me today. So, like I've watched a few of your interviews to prepare for this, but no one really has got to know like how you've got into boxing and like how young you started out. So let's start with that. So how old were you when you kind of first stepped in the gym? Obviously you just said you first came here at 16. Let's go before that. So what was Youssef Khoumari doing as a kid, and then how did you get into boxing?
So I started boxing at 9 years old. Beforehand I was doing a little bit of taekwondo, just playing a little bit of football. But in both sports I thought I hit a dead end. Okay. Sort of like when you get to a crossroads and you feel like you want to go somewhere, and you sort of hit a ceiling in both sports. With football I was getting to a point where I was getting a bit frustrated. I'd go to an away match with the team, we'd lose, and on the way back no one would care. I'd be the only one on the bus angry about the loss, and everyone else is up there having a joke and a laugh on the way back. So I thought, I want to do something where the responsibility's in my hands, not in the goalkeeper's hands or someone else, because I want to win all the time. I don't want to be with a bunch of guys that don't care. So I was kind of hitting the ceiling with football. And with taekwondo, the type of martial art I was doing is very non-contact. Okay. So with that as well, I just started getting bored and I wanted to push myself a bit more. I've got I'd say a problem with being average. I always want to be the best. Doesn't matter what I'm doing. Doesn't matter if we're playing PlayStation, if we're playing Street Fighter, FIFA.
You want to win.
I want to win. So I felt like with those two, I'd hit my ceiling, and I wanted something more. At the same time, Manny Pacquiao was running through boxing, winning his 8 world titles. Me being half Filipino as well, it was a big inspiration to me. And I thought, you know what? Why not I give this a try? The local gym team at the time was All Stars Boxing Club. Living in Wembley at the time, there was no Stonebridge Boxing Club, there was no Neasden Boxing Club at the time, it was just All Stars. So, picked up my bag, went into All Stars Boxing Gym, had my first session, and
never looked back.
Never looked back from there.
Perfect. So you've got Manny Pacquiao obviously blitzing through. Is it Nito Donaire as well? He Filipino. How did you feel watching the Inouye fight the other day? Did you catch it?
I watched it. It was good to have boxing at that time of day. It's weird, like having your lunch and watching boxing at the same time, live really as well.
Yeah.
It was a good experience. I kind of saw that coming.
Did you? Yeah.
Because they say in boxing, rematches go the same way, just easier. Okay. So I kind of had a feeling that was the first fight they had was Donaire's last really big show. That was his last one. So I didn't really want to watch it because I knew that was going to happen.
Okay.
But you know what? He's still a hero. He's still a warrior, not just to the country, but to boxing.
100%.
To be.
Is he a 4 or 5 weight world champion? Donaire? I think.
I don't know, something crazy like that.
Him and Pacquiao, they've kind of held Filipino boxing for ages.
I know.
So that's incredible, man. So and also since then, never looked back. Your mentality going into most of the fights, especially after the Kane Baker victory in Gibraltar on the Dillian Whyte Povetkin undercard. Obviously, I think it's your pinned tweet, is where you're calling for 50-50 fights, they're the only fights you want to be in. And then you go into the Casteneda fight, which he just come off the win off Arthur Jones, wasn't it? Yeah. You go straight in there with him, and I remember Eddie Hearn, Whole of the Zone, that was kind of their fight of the night almost. That was quite nice. So after that, immediately after, so as soon as the result's been read by Diamante, was that initially still your mentality? Did you want to go straight back in there? Did you still want those 50-50 fights? Obviously now, like you said in multiple interviews, that's still your mentality obviously, but that as soon as the result was read, did your mentality change at all?
No, I think for as long as I'm in boxing, I'm always going to want 50-50 fights. It's just the mentality I've had as an amateur, even as a schoolboy amateur. I'd fight anyone, anywhere, anytime, I remember the coach used to call me at school and say, "You're fighting on Saturday," and I'd go. I didn't care who it was. I never used to ask who it was, even sparring. They'd be like, "Oh, you're sparring so-and-so on Saturday." I never asked who it was. I just turned up and got on with the job. And I still have the same mentality now. Reason why? I just want to push myself and challenge myself and being the best fighter. That's what I'm in boxing for. I feel like the difference between me and a lot of other guys, you know, I'm not in boxing for a blue tick on Instagram or for loads of Instagram followers or for fame or for money. Those are all bonuses that come with it. I'm in boxing because I love to fight. You know, whether all those bonuses come with boxing or not, I'm still going to be sparring 12 rounds, training to fight. I just love to fight, and I think that's what's the difference between me and these guys, which is why I'm willing to take certain fights that guys will be a bit squeamish to take them, but it's a bit too early for me. Now, I just go in there with him. If you look at the Casteneda fight, a lot of guys would have shied away from it. He's got a big KO ratio. He's out of Mexico, or I think he's American, but he trains in Mexico. A lot of guys would have looked at that and said, nah, no thanks. As soon as they sent me that name over, I jumped at it straight away and said, yes, let's go. You know, that's my mentality, and I think I'll have the same mentality for as long as I'm in boxing. You know, and it's a good thing I've got a good team around me to sort of slow me down and stuff, because I want to fight anyone and everyone. But you know, that's my mentality. It will never change. It's
especially you said obviously Casteneda being Mexican American as well. That was at a time where Mexicans and Mexican Americans were coming over to the UK. Obviously, you had Warrington Lara, I think, like a few weeks before. So, no, fair play to you. And I think that says the same about the whole of the Dylan Whyte camp. You, Babbage, John Harden Jr. You had Chris Congo as well. At that time, I think Eddie was having a field day because all of you were going into those 50-50 fights and always entertaining the fans. And as I said before the interview started as well, those highlights are, I think it's especially the 6th round where you two were just trading. That was incredible, and you hurt him multiple times, and that's what the fans want to see. So I think as long as you, and as you said, you're going to carry on keeping that mentality, you're going to be a fan favourite forever. So
100%.
100%.
Do you know, I go to a lot of boxing shows, and I never wanted to be that fighter where you two guys will be fighting in the ring and everyone in the audience is just having a conversation about other things. You know, it happens loads of times, and I never want to be that guy. I want to be the guy where I'm fighting and people's tuning in and watching and being entertained by what's going on. And that's going to be me all the time.
It's that main factor of boxing, that gladiatorial element where you don't want other people to be doing anything else other than watching the fight when you're in there. Like that's the main thing. You want to be hearing the crowd kind of scream once you do a shot. And as we said in the highlights of the Casteneda fight, I think it's the right hook when you land, the body shot in the fall. You stop him, and kind of everyone goes, okay, this could be here. And then the same, I hate to bring it up, but then when you got caught as well, it's the same thing. But that's the whole part of 50-50 fights. You trust yourself, trust your ability to go in there with these guys and beat them as well. Exactly, that's the whole point. And that's the best thing. It's one reason why I wanted to interview you. You're not gonna shy away from any challenges.
Exactly. I mean for all the challenges, you know, as well as that, in boxing is about putting bums on seats. You know, and a lot of people pay out their hard-earned money to come and watch me, but especially like if you're on the small hall scene, you know, they pay out their hard-earned money to come watch you. You want to give them their money's worth. And you know, boxing and people having a conversation in the back about what the score was today at the football, that's not giving them their money's worth. I always want to be someone that's giving them their money's worth. Especially like even now, when we're talking about upcoming fights and whatever, we're looking for opponents. I want someone that's going to bring some threat, someone that people can get excited about, someone that people can put a question mark over. Because I think that's what builds a fight, is where people have a question mark over it. Can he win? Can't he win? That kind of fight. That's the kind of fight that, to be honest, gets me up for the fight. Because if I'm going to fight someone where I know it's going to be a walkover, or I know I'm 80% going to win, I'm not really bothered myself. You know, I'd rather just leave it alone. So I'm that guy that's always going to be 100% entertainment.
No, 100%. And then, so let's go into that. So the fights that kind of that have been and gone, so you had obviously Cordina last weekend. What a knockout, by the way. I think no one expected him to outpunch the puncher in a way in Agawa. But then obviously you had Zelfa Barrett on the card as well. Obviously I know you weren't best pleased with his performance from your Instagram. So are those the names that kind of would get you up for like that level of 50-50 fight, that who's going to win type thing? Or would say, obviously you had Reece Bellotti coming off of a really good win as well against Dean Dodge. I don't think many people thought, especially him being the away fighter on I think it was on Box Nation, would a fight with him as well, would that be, or is it any of those guys?
Do you know what, any of them? Like, if you look at the rankings in my weight, I know Buttrek's not official, if you look at the top, I don't know, top 5, top 6, those are the guys I want to get in there when we mix it, because not only is it a challenge to a lot of other people, it's a challenge to myself. You know, if I'm not in boxing to take these challenges and try and be the best of the best, what am I in it for? Do you know what I mean? It's like, I might as well go and do something else. So yes, Joe Cordina, amazing win over the weekend. I'd still get in there. You know, I'd get in there with Ogawa. I'd get in there with, I forgot his name now.
Barrett.
Zelfa Barrett, that's it. Yeah, it was so boring. I forget his name.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd get in there with Zelfa Barrett. Anyone. Do you know what I mean? Anyone out there with a big name, I'm coming. I wanna fight. And like you said, that's the mentality of Team Whyte and everyone in the camp. You got Babic is the same. John Harden's the same. You know, all the guys are the same. Chris Congo. I'm forgetting some people now, but yeah, we're all.
There's so many of you. Yeah. You're all as entertaining as each other. I think even with Congo, you've got Congo fighting Formella at the weekend, which I think is a great fight. That's a great fight. Yeah. Formella's only lost. I don't want to keep saying it, but his only losses are to Ben and Sean Porter as well. Yeah. So that will only send them up there. What is Alan Babic like?
How he is on camera?
Yeah,
is exactly how he is in real life.
Okay.
He is.
I'm so glad to hear that, buddy.
Yeah. He is. I tell you what, he's fun to be around because you never know what you're gonna get with him. You know, there's always something new with him. He comes in and he's always saying something or laughing at something, or you know, everyone in the team is it's all fun to be around, especially when we're all together. I remember the last camp, the last time we was all together. I remember it was Dillian, John Harden, Alan Babic, me. Couple others. I think I just missed Fabio on the last camp. He left just before I got there.
Of course, Fabio.
But when we're all together, it's a good bond and it's a good gel. You know, we're all laughing and having jokes together. Everyone's got their own little character, and we all gel really well. But I think Alan's one that stands out because what he says on camera, I know it might come across as he's just saying it for the camera, but it's what he really believes. Like, that's really him talking.
He's thought about it as well. I remember, I think it was was it the Gibraltar card, or it might have been the Cameron McGee undercard that your Casteneda fight was on. That was when I realised it was an act, because he's thought about kind of the whole multiple personality thing. He's studied that. Like I knew from that moment that I was like, I know this guy's believing what he said.
He's for real.
And then when you saw that, I think Dylan or Babic posted the spar that he had, and them two, the Savage came out, and I don't think Dylan came out, and they were just throwing hell for leather. I don't think they realised it was actually a spar. I think Babic was fighting for that opportunity to fight Fury at Wembley. So that was incredible.
Yeah.
But so going into that, then obviously a few interviews after the during the lead up to Fury Whyte, you found out that you got offered that Queensbury offered you the Cacace fight because obviously his opponent fell through on 2 days' notice. I just wanted, how did that make you feel? Obviously we spoke a bit off camera, but obviously there was a lot more going on than just the fact that you got offered the fight on 2 days' notice.
Do you know what? It just shows from there in this very, very bad organisation. You know, I think the fight fell through because Cacace's original opponent didn't get his visa sorted out in time. And you know, that's bad planning from whoever it was, the promoter or whoever needs to get that sorted. That's bad planning because that show was set, who knows how, like, that was all 8-9 weeks in advance they had to do that, and they didn't do it. And you know, to try and use me as someone just to fill up numbers and to fill up a show, you know, it takes the piss a bit because I'm not that kind of fighter. You know, I'm not that guy. I'm a contender that's out there, like I said, to go out and give good 50-50 fights. Giving me 2 days notice, wow, I'm in a month of fasting, not eating properly and all that sort of stuff. You know, it shows that you don't think I'm that kind of fighter, or you only want to get me on 2 days notice. You don't want to give me the 8-9 weeks, because after the 8-9 weeks, after the fight where they offered me, there's not been no other offer. They say, okay, we'll give you the notice then. Let's come and have a fight. Let's have a proper fight. It's just, take it on 2 days notice. If not, then we don't want you. You know, because probably they know me on 10-12 week notice or even 6 week notice. I'm too much of a problem for a lot of these guys. I'm a hard fight for anyone who gets out there in front of me. There's no one out there like me who's got the hunger like me, who's got the heart like me to go in there and give anyone a hard fight. I'm going to be in your face, or if they want it as well, I can box too. So I'm too much of a Rubik's Cube for these guys.
Is that hindered you in getting opportunities where with promoters and things like that? Because obviously some promoters like to protect their fighters. They like to get them up the rankings with sort of like protecting them and shielding them, like protecting that kind of mentality type thing. Do you think that's kind of hindered you gaining opportunities because you know you're too much of a problem for them, and they know that you're too much of a problem for their fighters?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, and I don't think it's just the promoters. I think as well the fighters are too into this planning their career and cherry picking who they fight, and I'm gonna go this route and I'm gonna go that route, as opposed to just yo, let's just fight anyone, man. If you look at the times of Hagler Hearns and you know, Roberto Duran and these guys, them guys just go and mix and match and fight anyone. You know, we'd have, well, at the time anyway, I hear from the guys before, they'd have a big fight every 2 months, every month. You know, for us, it's like, when's the next big fight happening? You know, we have to go into box check and maybe look 2-3 months down the line because we don't know when.
Who they've lost to, who they've fought.
Yeah, do you know what I'm saying? Whereas before, month after month, there's big fight after big fight because the guys are out there fighting each other. You know, I kind of want to bring that back. And if you look at Team Whyte as well, everyone under the management and Dylan himself, you know, we've all got that same mentality of, yo, we'll fight anyone anywhere. Babic is one of the most active fighters I've seen, especially throughout the COVID period. It's like he was fighting and fighting and fighting. And I was like, yo, when are you going to take a break? You know what I mean?
And all of them were, hold on, he's too small for these guys. Yeah. Doesn't want to go to Bridgerweight. He was very set on
heavyweight,
staying at heavyweight because he wanted those fights. And I said that fight with Balski was incredible, especially when he got chinned. I think it was at the end of
the ninth round.
The ninth round after the bell.
Yeah.
I honestly, I was like, oh no, like this could be the end of it. I don't know how he would have recovered from that, but no, it was absolutely incredible. And also, as you said, Roberto Duran as well. Was he an inspiration? Because he's a guy who he was incredibly. He was a lightweight, I think. He came over here, fought Ken Buchanan when Ken Buchanan was at the top. I think beat him in a couple of rounds. Yeah. But then obviously goes all the way up to fight Sugar Ray Leonard. And is he a big inspiration to you as well?
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of guys in the era, because a lot of the guys in the era just fight anyone. You know, I think what helped them times, there was only one world title. So there was a few world titles actually, to correct myself, but there was
Ring Magazine was the one.
There wasn't just fighting anyone. I mean, and that's what boxing that's what we need to bring back to boxing, because imagine if we had that sort of mentality nowadays. You know, we'd have a lot more fights to look forward to, and especially for example in the heavyweight scene. You know, all these guys would have fought each other by now. We're here waiting. They're fighting once a year. You know, let's get these guys to fight, man. Let's get the mentality of the 80s back in there. Let's just all fight each other and bring boxing back to what it was.
I do definitely think if AJ going into the Usyk fight, I think even if he wins or loses, I do think the fight with Dylan Whyte's always. I think that rematch is always going to be there.
It's always going to be massive.
Because that you had obviously their first fight, you had the business of the first round where I think everyone from every person's team stormed the ring. I think, which is
Dean Whyte stormed the ring.
Dean Whyte stormed the ring. I think grabbed him, and then I think you've had one of the Sims brothers. I think trying to calm it all down, but fairly aggressively as well, which is quite a good moment in the fight as well. So I think I've gone through most of my questions, but next one. So obviously we talked about who would be next for you. So I obviously mentioned Reece Velotti. Coming off that win against Dean Dodge, obviously Dean Dodge is still in that weight class. Leon Woodstock, who next? Any names? Obviously, you said did you want me to be smoky before the interview started? Who's one guy that you would like? Is it the rematch with Casteneda, where regardless if he wins or loses tonight? Who next?
Do you know what? I'd love the rematch of Casteneda. That's obviously, you know, everyone loves that. You know, and obviously now I go on box check and I see a one there. It's annoying, you know what I mean? So I want to avenge the loss. Naturally, as a fighter, I want to avenge the loss. So I'd love the rematch of Casteneda. Kid Galahad's out there apparently moving up to super feather. God knows what he's doing. That's another fight I'd love to have.
I heard lightweight as well.
I heard lightweight as well. I could do lightweight too. So he can't run from me.
Yeah.
But we can do that fight as well. You know, Zalfa Barrett, don't know what he's doing. If he wants to defend the European title another 100 times, we can fight there. You know, Joe Cordina as well. I know he's probably going to go into world honours, and you know, fair play to Joe, because as soon as he won the title, he was straight away talking about unification. You know, talking about Shakur Stevenson and big fights. So fair play to him. But I'm out there willing to fight all the top guys. I want the fights that are going to entertain people and motivate myself, because there's nothing like having a fight that's not going to motivate you. You know, you cut corners in training and all that sort of stuff. I want a fight that's going to get me up for training and make me want to go in the gym and train hard. And the only fights that are going to do that for me are the big fights. You know, a fight where there's a question mark over it, where some people are going to doubt me, some people think I'm going to win. Like a good 50-50 fight.
Yeah, and you want to prove that. You want to prove that wrong as well, the people who are picking the other guy.
Yeah, exactly.
Talk about motivation. Obviously, right now you don't have a fight obviously set. Obviously, you know more than me, obviously. How do you stay motivated in the period? Obviously, Eddie Hearn spoke about staying ready during the COVID period as well. Obviously, I know we've spoken before, like on the DMs, and you've said you're just staying ready. But How do you stay motivated in that time when you don't have the fight date's not always set?
It's not easy because, you know, during the week and that you think, you know what, I could have a chicken and chips if I wanted to. It's not really a problem, or maybe could miss that run. But what keeps me going is I always want to stay ahead of the competition. Always want to be ahead, because if I don't do the run, if I have the chicken and chips, what if the guy I'm fighting in whatever time, what if he's still training hard? You know, then I'm going to be behind. So I always want to be one step ahead in the gym, training close to my weight, ready to go. On top of that as well, you know, Eddie and all the promoters had to say, stay ready, because you never know when the call will come. I don't want to be the person that has to turn down a phone call for not 2 days, but maybe 2-3 weeks. Of course. To say, oh, I'm not ready and stuff. I want to be ready. So if they pick up the phone and call me and say, yo, do you want to fight so and so? We can consider it. I don't want to have to turn it down because of fitness, but I just want to be ready. Yeah. And ahead of everyone else.
And I'm sure a lot of young boxers who are aspiring to get to the position where you are and the opportunities that you've had, that's the main thing. 100%. You have to stay ready and be ready.
100%, because you don't want the phone to ring and you have to say, oh, I'm not going to make the weight. Well, it could be a big opportunity. You could turn down. Opportunity could come and it could never come again. So you need to stay ready and stay in the gym, stay on weight, so that if that call comes, you're ready to go.
Perfect. So what do you, obviously you mentioned talking about Cordina talking about unifications with Shakur Stevenson. Obviously Shakur Stevenson, I feel like after the Jamel Herring Carl Frampton fight, which I thought, not seeing much of Herring, I thought Frampton was going to go in there and kind of do the business as a last hurrah thing. Obviously Herring completely ripped up the script on that front, and obviously then Herring's obviously come off his career best win, then going into the Stevenson fight. Stevenson made him look average in that, not even a shell of the person who fought Frampton. What do you think of the Cordina Stevenson fight, and how do you think that will go?
Do you know what? It's a great fight, and it's a fight that should happen, because, like I said earlier, the top guys in the sport should be fighting each other. You know, Cordina's a world champion now, and not only is he a world champion, but he beat the champion in style. And you know, Gar was a dangerous guy. We all know about his punch power. Fazeli was a durable southpaw, and he came and took him up. Yeah, dropped him about 3 times and stuff. So he took out a dangerous champion. So you know, the natural progression now is champion versus champion. You know, it's the day and age where unification has become in fashion again. Everyone's trying to unify. You got Errol Spence and Crawford and the guys at heavyweight, all trying to do this unification thing. So you know, that's the fight that actually should happen. I think it's a good fight. They both got good Olympic pedigree as well. Shakur's in Olympics, Joe Cordina's in Olympics. I think it's a good 50-50 fight. I think Shakur's just a little bit of a better boxer than Joe Cordina, is a bit more polished. And I think Shakur will win on points. But you never know, it's a good fight. You know, Cordina showed over there that he's a big puncher. So we don't know where that fight could go.
I think Cordina showing that he had that punch power, I think it's kind of again tore up the script in because everyone
assumed he weren't a puncher.
Yeah, everyone assumed he weren't a puncher, and then Cordina points. But I think I said I wrote an article beforehand. I feel like Cordina is like you said, you want a fight that gets you up, keeps you motivated. I feel like the last few opponents he's kind of been, do you know what, I know I can beat this guy kind of on an off day, so I'm going to do that. But with Ogawa, he knew that he needed to put those in those final sprints, and I think that's definitely one way forward. Youssef, I think I've gone through all of my questions. Are there any last few things that you'd like to add? Obviously, shout out to BoxFit for letting us do the
shout out to BoxFit, man. The place come get my boxing shorts, come get all my fight gear, all my training gear. They got the boxing equipment in the other room. So yeah, I've been coming here since I was 16, and the treatment I got when I was 16 is the same treatment I get in here today. You know, there's no special treatment for pros or for anyone, for matchroom fighters or whatever. It's the same for everyone, whether you're someone just starting out trying to buy your first pair of gloves, or someone coming in looking to get shorts for a world title fight. They treat you the same. So you know, shout out to BoxFit for always looking after me, man. Yeah,
shout out to BoxFit, and we'll definitely go and have a look in the shop after this interview.
100%. But trying not to spend no money.
Yeah. Youssef Khoumari, thank you for the interview today, and hopefully see you soon and see you in a fight soon.
Hopefully soon.
Cheers.
Stay tuned.